afternoon, my spooky little Halloween fans. The media guy is back with another revisit edition movie review. And yes, I am going to be doing a second look, aka revisit edition review of Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo, the third Halloween movie starring Scooby and the gang, and the first to use the animation styles from Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. Now, as usual with these second look, aka revisit edition reviews, if you guys have already seen my original review of these type of movies, including Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo, you pretty much know what the heck to expect from it. But it doesn't hurt to give you a little bit of a reminder about what this movie is about. Trick or Trap. Mystery Inc. just cracked the biggest case of all. Scooby and his pals have tracked down Coco Diablo, which is this woman right here, the head of the notorious costume crime syndicate that includes the Black Knight Ghost, Space Kook, and the Ghost Diver, even though he's actually called Captain Color, but whatever. With Coco and her kitty in prison, the gang can finally enjoy a break, right? Wrong! Menacing doppelgangers and the classic foes show up in Coolsville, threatening Halloween. So it's up to the meddling kids and their unlikely new partner to unmask the latest scoundrel. With Trick or Treating on the line, it's gone personal for Scooby and Shaggy. Oh boy, well it ain't wrong. So after giving Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo its second look treatment, it might be even more exciting than Happy Halloween Scooby-Doo or Scooby-Doo and the Goblin King. Which, to be fair, I have nothing against those movies at all. I really don't. But Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo is quite an interesting movie for fans of Halloween and Scooby-Doo. As usual, has a very interesting and wacky plot. The game facing their evil doppelgangers is pretty clever, even though this wouldn't be the first time this happened. Coco Diablo is a nice addition to the gang and is very helpful, despite the fact that she was the head of some kind of organization responsible for creating Captain Color, the Tar Monster, 10,000 Volt Ghost, Space Kook, Black Knight Ghost, Gator Ghoul, and so many more. Some of the jokes are quite funny, even though they might be hit or miss. I do like how this is a callback to some of the classic episodes of Scooby-Doo, where are you? And I like how we even got a chance to see all of our favorite villains make a return in this movie. Since this wouldn't be the first time this happened, some of them did return in Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights, Franken Creepy, Mystery Incorporated, and Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, which I probably mentioned that before in my original review. And I also pointed this out in my original review that this is actually the first ever direct-to-video Scooby-Doo movie to use the animation styles from Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. Now, I assume everyone else on YouTube has already pointed that out. JB and Millie, Ashton Hardy, and Scooby-Topia. Which, by the way, shoutouts to you guys watching this video. And I'm going to get into more personal topics, but this is probably the first movie to have Velma have a crush on another girl. I can't actually say the L word because I want to keep this channel family friendly. And if you guys saw my original review of Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo, You pretty much know what the heck I'm talking about. Which I thought, which to be fair, in my opinion, is a little bit strange to have Velma fall in love with another girl. You know, this probably wouldn't be the first time this would have technically happened. I mean, the 2002 live-action Scooby-Doo movie was going to be a little bit different. And HBO Max's Velma, a little bit controversial. Probably you had some elements that might have been borrowed from the 2002 live-action movie, but probably not. Anyways, I'm getting off topic here. Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo is quite an interesting movie. It's almost like each case Mystery Inc. has solved seems to be connected. You know, like the world's longest wild goose chase, if you know what I mean. And maybe to you guys, it might not be the case, but I'm just saying. There are times where the gang's starting to have a bit of starting to go through this phase where the mystery solving business has been quite slow. You know, ever since they locked up Coco Diablo during the first 11 minutes of the movie. And I guess things have gotten a little bit boring. But to Shaggy and Scooby, that seems to be a good thing because they don't have to worry about guys in cheesy costumes scaring people. Because a whole year has went by, and it's like the world's longest vacation for Shaggy and Scooby. Although to the rest of the gang, I guess things are a little bit boring for the gang. But who can blame them? There are other things to like about this movie. Like when Shaggy and Scooby are having this dream about trick-or-treating and eating up all the houses in their dream. Shaggy and Scooby are actually dressed as each other. Scooby's dressed as Shaggy, and Shaggy's dressed as Scooby. Now, I'm not sure if that's meant to be like a callback to a time when they did the same thing in the What's New Scooby-Doo episode of Scooby-Doo Halloween. But I'm gonna call it as a Easter egg to that episode of What's New Scooby-Doo. Because I actually did, I think I did mention this before in my original review. But it is kind of funny seeing Shaggy and Scooby eating up all the candy-flavored houses. Even if that was just a dream. It proves that Halloween is like a big deal for Shaggy and Scooby. And I honestly don't blame them. I really don't. Halloween can be anyone's favorite holiday, even for a couple of cartoon characters like them. And this movie can get a little bit action-packed at times, like when the gang first encountered Nefario. You know, this guy impersonating, this guy who is the doppelganger to Fred's, starts terrorizing the Coolsville Halloween Fest and starts chasing the gang all over the place. And it's funny how when Shaggy and Scooby were the first to encounter him, and probably didn't want to say anything to the gang because they were afraid that it would ruin their chances of going trick-or-treating. But Scooby accidentally spilled the beans anyway. Well, I gotta admit, the Misery Company does have a cool design. They all seem to be exact duplicates of the gang. Although for some reason, Daphne's monster doppelganger isn't on the DVD cover of the movie. Kind of weird, huh? Oh well, 4 out of 5 ain't bad. Yeah, I guess you could tell that I guess their designs are quite creepy. And I probably said this before a few minutes ago, but this probably isn't the first time the gang has met evil versions of themselves. A similar thing like this happened in another episode of What's New Scooby-Doo called Scooby-Doo Valentines, where the gang gets framed for a lot of teenagers going missing during Valentine's Day. I don't know if I said this sorry for the stuttering today. I'm not sure if I said that in my original review, but hey, better late than never, right? Another thing I like about this movie is the Scooby-Doo I'm So Blue song during the opening credits. And yeah, it's no surprise that it's another rendition of the Scooby-Doo Where Are You theme song. And to be fair, I probably said this before in my old videos, but okay, maybe I haven't, but just in case I did, I was always used to hearing all sorts of variations of the Scooby-Doo Where Are You theme song. And Scooby-Doo I'm So Blue is a prime example, as well as the rock and roll version for the live-action movies. There's no lie that Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo is quite a very interesting movie. And it's a shame we don't get other movies that has the Scooby-Doo and Guess Who art style. Or do we? I think I said this before, but over on JB and Millie's channel, they have found out that there was going to be like another Scooby-Doo direct-to-video movie called Scooby-Doo and the Haunted High Rise, which probably would have seen the return of the Hex Girls, and it probably would have used the Scooby-Doo and Guess Who art style. Now, JB and Millie had already made a few videos about how that type of news being cancelled was like a big deal to everyone, including me. And I probably would have loved to see how Scooby-Doo and the Haunted High Rise would have turned out. Considering we did have like a few storyboards and concept arts which shows what the movie would have looked like. And I'm sorry that I'm going off topic here, which this probably has nothing to do with Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo, but for educational purposes, I had to bring it up at some point, if you know what I mean. So I guess I'll wrap this up. Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo is still one of the greatest and most action-packed and spookiest Halloween-themed movies ever. It's like everything I described in this and my original review a year ago. So I'll give this movie 5 vampire bats out of 5. And if you guys liked this second look, aka revisit edition of Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo, just let me know down in the comments below. So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more spooky reviews, just like this one. You never know what to expect, huh?